introducing all the latest popular light novels in October. So this time I'll introduce the lineup of new light novels that will be released until October 21st in one video. I'll pick out my favorite light novels and introduce them in detail, so please use this as a reference for purchasing them. Let's get started right away. First, I'll introduce the works that is currently on sale on October 15th. First, this is a Maou Noble's Vacation Suggestion Volume 19. This is a BL fantasy story of a young prime minister in a fantasy world who is suddenly transferred to another world. However, with his brains and his unique speech, he partners with a man named Jill and becomes a brilliant adventurer. This work has recently announced its anime adaptation. I was surprised of how it was announced after for so long. The series has also sold over 1.4 million copies. Fans of the series should read this, it's a must recommended. Next is I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History Volume 7. The anime adaptation of this work has been started airing 3 episodes recently. It started out quite good, but how was it for you guys so far? The volume this time had Alicia investigates who hates Queen Dowager Julie as if it was Will. Wanting to know her true feelings, Alicia come up with a plan to blow up the royal palace involving her brothers to lure Julie out. But the price is to break up with Duke. Would this be the true villainous move? Next up is the novel titles that are on sale on October 17. This time I'll be recommend 3 titles from 2 publishers. The first one is Kusunoki Residence with a Divine Garden Volume 8. This is a slow life story that depicts rural life with fluffy gods. It is a series that has steadily gained popularity among the Genki's new literary works. Sword Art Online Alternative Gourmet Seekers Volume 2. The second volume of the SAO spin-off series has been released. This series is a fairly transplanted spin-off that tells a gourmet story in the first setting, Aincrad. It's set in a dev game world, but the story isn't that tense and is a bit laid back. The author for this is YA, who wrote the popular The Eighth Son Are You Kidding Me series. I Became a Legend just by studying VR games without trying to beat them Volume 1. This is a work that seems familiar to some VTuber fans. It seems to be about VR MMO, but this work has a different setting. The heroine tries to use a game that triples the time to study for exams, but for some reason ends up creating a legend within the game. It's a slapstick comedy. That's all from October 17th. Next is the novel titles coming October 18th and 19th. First, let's start with HJ Novels and Gagaga Bunko. The genius wizard I became an apprentice to is actually my daughter. What Should I Do? Volume 1. This is the story of a middle-aged swordsman who expelled from an adventurous party and meets a magician who turns out to be his real daughter. There are a lot of stories in the light novel industry these days with older men as protagonists, so a real parent-child pattern may be quite rare. Love, romance, and all that nonsense. This is a new story from the author of The Neat and Beautiful Girl at My New School was my childhood friend, whom I thought was a boy, and I played together with. That series has announced its anime adaptation back on September 23rd of last year. I wonder if there's a follow-up update to that. This is a story of an impure relationship with a younger childhood friend. One day, the younger sister of the protagonist's best friend is in love with a senior at his part-time job. This impure relationship is limited until he finds someone he truly loves. This series could set be a new frontier. If you want to read impure love light novels, check this one out. Next, from Fantasia Bunko on the way back from the hero. This is the new story from Ichiro Sakaki. It's a fantasy of the aftermath of killing a demon king, but everyone has forgotten about it. It is a must recommended for readers out there. Sakaki Sensei has previously wrote several works which include Outbreak Company, Straight Jacket, and Chaika the Coffin Princess, which all of them had anime adaptations years ago. This new work is about the demon king was defeated by the hero and his 5 companions. All that remains is to return to the castle and be held as heroes, but one of the companions left the party. It was then that the hero realized that he knew nothing about the people who had risked their lives on this adventure. This seems that it was inspired by the Sneaker Bunko series Who Killed the Hero, so it will be interesting to see how veteran author Sakaki-san will write the story. Let's begin a battlefield without heroes. This work won the gold medal at the Fantasia Grand Prize and the Fantasia Special Prize, selected by Kei Sazane Sensei. The cover with the title hiding the heroine's face is a nice touch. This work set in a world that the heroine saved in exchange for her life, and the hero, who is a childhood friend, gets his hand on a power that converts heroic actions used by the heroine into the power. It's a modern battle action game where the hero fights by inheriting his will. I'm not sure what it's like to convert heroic actions into power, but it seems like it'll be incorporated some meta elements. I think the battle elements will be probably strong, so if you like that genre, please check it out. Next up is Volume 8 of She Was Actually My Stepsister, which is also a title worth paying attention to. It's the latest volume of family love, which is gaining popularity among Fantasia Bunko, and it's a story of pure love between a cute-looking sister. The series has sold over 300,000 copies in total and has gained a solid following. I thought there might be an anime adaptation, but the story will reach its climax this time. The illustrations seems to be the very last volume, but the synopsis doesn't say it's complete. There may be a collection of short stories, including an epilogue. By the way, this time, the works of the illustrator Minori Chigusa artworks will be released at the same time. Chigusa sensei is amazing. She has an incredibly fast pen for drawing beautiful illustrations. It seems that she has been actively in charge of the light novel illustrations for the past 12 years or so. The art book of the novel version will also be included, so fans of the series should check out the latest volume. Next up is Spy Classroom Volume 12. The latest volume of the popular spy action series has also been made into an anime. Since the second season of the anime has ended, no new volumes have been released, so it's been about a year since the last new volume was released. There have been short stories, but the fact that the main story hasn't been released for a year seems quite long considering the pace of the series so far. The latest volume seems to be about Elna, but Asuna says that now is the time to obtain the secrets of the world, so it doesn't seem like the story is going to move on in a big way. I guess the fact that it took so long for the new volume to be released means that it's that important. It's a long-awaited new volume, so fans of the series should enjoy it to the fullest. The story about buying my classmate once a week, Volume 5. This is the 5th installment of the popular series that represents the status of Yuris. It starts with an immoral relationship of buying a classmate with money, but you can enjoy the precious youth of deepening the bond. In the latest volume, the second duty begins. The cover has a bright atmosphere, so it looks like you can enjoy the new relationship. If you like Yuri works, please check it out. Next up is Demon King 2099 Volume 4. This is titled To Look Out For. This is the first new volume in a year and 3 months for this series, and the long-awaited sequel has finally arrived. The anime has started airing in fall 2024, and at that time of writing this video, the first episode has aired. The quality is pretty good. The cyberpunk Demon King fantasy seems to fit the anime well. As for the anime itself, from here and out, there are comedic elements and full-on battle developments, so there are many elements to be shown in the anime, so I'm really looking forward to it. The original work is still in its 4th volume, so it's pretty killing. It's easy to follow, and I think the anime will help increase the number of readers. By the way, the title of the latest volume is Ultimate Defense City Washington, and it seems that the setting will be moved to a fortress city and a mystery will unfold. This series will be tackled from many angles, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the latest volume will be like. It seems that the 5th volume will also be released next month, so it looks like it will be a 2 consecutive months of sightseeing to coincide with the anime. It seems that they will build up the excitement all at once with the anime to make up for the wait for the new volume to be released. If you're interested in the anime, please check out this work. Other Fantasia novels includes Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World Volume 16. A new modern fantasy romance, The Beautiful Elf Next Door is Too Close to Me. Would you like to do something nice with me? Heavenly Sword of Twin Stars Volume 6 Final Volume. After defeating the last boss, you start your second adventure as an adventurer, Volume 2, and Memory Records of Bastard Magic Instructor Volume 11. All of these titles were very recommended, so order them today. And finally is the new lineup of novel titles to be released on October 19 and 21. Let's start with Jitsuimo, Fairy Bullet, Machine Maiden, and Fake Beast Soldier Volume 1. This is a title worth paying attention to. From the world of Otome game is tough enough for mobs, and I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire. It's a new sci-fi fantasy by Yomu Mishima, the author of both books. As you can see from the cover illustration, this new work is a school battle where armed girls fight. It's a very popular setting in the 2010s, but I haven't seen much of it recently. This work is set in a near future world where the Earth has been invaded by monsters from another world and are forced to maintain a never-ending defense line. The enemy is completely ineffective against normal weapons. The only thing that can fight back against them are powerful suits that only women can use, and the story begins with a veteran soldier becoming infertile at a school that trains heroines who can use such weapons. To be honest, the setting is already super classic, or rather, it feels like it has been used quite a bit, but personally, I quite like it, so I'm looking forward to it. By the way, the main character also rides a humanoid weapon, so it seems that the powerful suit isn't the only battle element. It's a school sci-fi battle fantasy created by Yomu Mishima, so I'm thinking of getting it. 12 books when a villainous young lady whose engagement was broken off married me. I, a lazy villainous nobleman, and we became the most wicked couple ever. Volume 2. The volume this time had his father-in-law arbitrarily chooses a new fiancée who challenges him to a fight for the position of husband. An interesting revenge plot for an evil. I'm a noble on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try Mastering Magic Volume 9. The anime adaptation will air for January 2025 next year, so I'm quite excited, but I'm concerned for it. The volume this time was getting political marriage to form an alliance to suppress a neighboring country. Plan to live a slow life at a different species camp. Volume 3. This man reincarnates in another world due to a mistake made by God and opens a campsite. This time, he and his friends will have to face a gigantic disaster-level demonic beast on its way. It's like a slow life but managing a camping place full of unknown people. So this time, I've introduced all the new light novels that were released in mid-October at once. This time, Fantasia Bunko series has a long-awaited sequel and some final volumes complete, so it was a very exciting lineup. If you have any interesting works in this video, please let me know in the comments section. I'll be introducing new books again next week, so please take this opportunity to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.